We are examining a growing consumer protection concern within our patent system. In recent years, the growth of patent assertion entities, also known as PAEs, or referred to by many as patent trolls, excuse me, has led to an increase in patent litigation and spawned greater use of the so-called demand letters. Too often, this appears to be an unfair and deceptive practice that is harming everyday businesses, consumers, and startups. You know, I don't think anybody at this hearing anyway, this is not the Judiciary Committee, we're not talking about systemic changes to the patent law system. We're talking about bottom feeders. We're talking about scam artists. I don't think Edison would have been offended if he would have been asked just to file the letter that he was sending that clearly states what patent he's asserting and his basis for doing it. I mean, isn't the registry a way we could get past anecdotal? How in the world do we get past anecdotal if we let these scam artists, these bottom feeders, operate in the shadows without, I mean, how do we ever do anything other than you saying we have anecdotal? How do we get at the problem?
When you're talking about adopting a legal regime that will be applied to all patent owners, that's a systemic change. And then we have to determine whether there's actually a systemic problem that justifies creating a systemic change.
All right, let's talk to the expert. You own 10,000 patents. If you were going to send a letter asserting your patents, would you find it something that would really negatively impact your business if you had to file them on a registry with no other requirement other than you had to file them?
I proposed a registry whenever anyone's sending a letter to more than 10 end users.
I wanted to put that on the record, that your identity and where you work will be protected if you can give us a dirty inside glance as to how this is actually, how they're figuring out what lousy patents to buy, how they're figuring out who to send the letters to, where they're getting the lists, how much they're receiving. Maybe that would get us beyond anecdotal. This committee doesn't have the jurisdiction nor the appetite for any massive change to the patent system. We're talking about end users and consumer protection. You know, I'm old-fashioned about this. I'm not big fan of federal law enforcement. I'm a big fan of local law enforcement. I'm a local prosecutor by my background, and I think that a lot of this work can be done on a state-by-state basis much more effectively than we can do from Washington.